I would like to congratulate the organizers for hosting this important international event in Cyprus and thank them for kindly inviting me to address this distinguished gathering. These 2 days, we have had the opportunity to hear a bit about the latest development in the market and in the industry from an exchange of information between the CySEC and the market participants. In this closing keynote speech, I will present a small overview of the recent developments of the Cypriot securities market, including the latest as well as the upcoming changes in the regulatory and supervisory framework stemming from amendments to the national legislation and new European Union directives. By the way of background, in March 2016, the Republic of Cyprus successfully completed the economic adjustment program with a very positive assessment on the performance and future prospects of the country. The Cypriot economy returned to growth in 2015 after only 3 years of economic decline, with positive forecasts for 2016 and a projected between 2 and 2.5 GDP growth rate. The unemployment rate has also dropped according to the latest statistics and showing the biggest drop in the EU. Following the bail-in of 2013, many in Cyprus and abroad predicted the end of Cyprus as an international business center. How wrong they were. This has not happened. Despite the remaining challenges, 3 years on, Cyprus has maintained its role as a successful regional business and services destination. The flow of applications submitted to CySEC from Cyprus and abroad to license new regulated entities continues unabated. CySEC now supervises 532, I will show you this one, 532 entities with 136 awaiting examination for licenses. Today, 213 investment firms are licensed and regulated by CySEC to provide financial services. Out of these, 130 firms provide forex and binary options for retail investors, which are considered sophisticated financial products. In 2014, CySEC took the unprecedented step of classifying binary options as financial instruments under the MiFID legislation. This means that unlike in other European and indeed global jurisdictions, the provision of financial binary options is a regulated activity. Only those who are licensed can provide such investment products to investors. This decision had investor protection at its heart, and owing to CySEC's fair, robust, and proactive approach to regulation, Cyprus has matured into a center for such financial services. Also, CySEC attaches great importance to the development of the collective investment industry, which has only started by the end of 2014, and until today we have licensed 13 alternative investment fund managers, and these managers can accommodate over 100 million funds under management. From the reported data so far, the total funds under management for authorized alternative investment fund managers is approximately 2.3 billion. However, there are still fund managers that have not submitted information, so the total figure is much higher. Despite CySEC's proactivity, there are still challenges Cyprus has to face. The intense and coordinated effort to improve standards in the FX and binary options trading industry, in particular, has been at the center of restoring investor trust in Cyprus. These are risky products. Retail investors should be encouraged not to invest in them if they do not fully comprehend the inherent risks of these products. However, it is important to stress that CySEC has recently issued a number of circulars that set a stricter framework for their provision, define acceptable market practices, and clarify potential gray areas in the legislation in order to increase transparency. Especially, I want to emphasize on the circular regarding the provision, the specifications of binary platforms, which are providing services to clients in relation to binary options. The responsibility to ensure products are marketed appropriately and to those investors that are suitable lies on the firm's shoulder. We must have the support of those industry professionals who provide these products as we continue our drive to weed out those who are looking to violate the law in Cyprus and put the investors at risk. In this vein, CySEC has fully implemented the risk-based supervision framework, RBSF, introduced in 2015. The RBSF has formed CySEC's schedule of supervisory checks for 2016. It allows CySEC to dedicate some of its resources to supervising those regulated entities which pose the greatest risk to the investor, where SIVs are classified as high and medium or low. Those SIVs categorized as high risk and medium to high, on-site inspections have been and will be carried out to ensure that firms are operating in full compliance with European and Cypriot laws. With regard to those categorized as medium risk, on-site inspections will be carried out in all relevant areas over a period of 3 years. For SIVs medium and low, there will be a thematic supervision and when is needed. Of course, supervisory investigations will also be carried out according to any information or complaints that may come to the regulator's attention. This is the map for the categorization I have already mentioned for Forex SIVs and binaries, and this is for traditional SIVs. Following the RBSF's implementation, CySEC started a process of in-depth inspections based on predefined set of supervisory criteria in August 2015. For 10 out of 20 investment firms categorized as being high priority, market procedures, governance and risk processes, client onboarding and suitability requirements, AML procedures were all heavily scrutinized, and those that were found that they were in violation of the law imposed penalties. In addition to the financial penalties imposed, CySEC has also called upon the SIVs to adopt a series of corrective measures to improve their internal procedures and arrangements and practices aimed at ensuring full compliance with the legal obligations with set deadlines. CySEC has issued circulars also and defined acceptable market practices and increased transparency and investor protection. We will continue our inspections, and CySEC will not hesitate to take action where necessary. Supervisory on-site checks will be repeated each year on either a thematic or a broad-based full audit, if it's necessary, and the aim is to improve compliance of the overall investment firm industry, which will further safeguard investment protection and ensure the smooth and functioning of the market itself. Let me be clear, those looking to cheat the law have no place in Cyprus. The upcoming priorities. Went too far. In terms of our upcoming supervisory priorities, 20 thematic checks of SIVs will be carried out during 2016. The checks will focus a number of issues that could continue to undermine investor confidence, both in Cyprus and those firms registered here. These will include the promotion of financial products and services, including individual marketing communications, practices, and call centers. The assessment of appropriateness of certain financial products for customers, and more particularly on the implementation of proper procedures by CIFs whilst offering complex financial products such as Forex and binaries. 19 additional on-site checks at CIFs will be done, and also to administrative service providers, and particularly focusing on the anti-money laundering compliance. Also, CySEC will prepare and issue new circulars which will better inform and guide regulated entities as to full implementation and compliance with their legal obligations, and these circulars will include the following: safeguarding and reporting the client's monies of the CIFs, the promotion of financial products and services, that means the marketing and the affiliates, the assessment of appropriateness test, introducing brokers, call centers, and liquidity providers. All these will be issued in circulars to guide the market. At the fundamental supervisory level, CySEC continues to prioritize and upgrade the institutional framework to ensure Cyprus remains fully harmonized with the latest European directives. MiFID II and the Anti-Money Laundering Directive have already been promoted in Cyprus legislation, whilst the important legislative changes under the package of market abuse is also in place. The EMIR regulation, the regulation on key information documents for package, retail, and insurer-based investment products, called as PRIPS, will be adopted. CySEC remains committed to ensure Cyprus is fully in line with the latest European legislation. MiFID II is a very important piece of legislation, as you all know, for CIFs. The legislation has several core objectives, including increased investor protection, alignment of regulation across the EU in certain areas, increased competition across the financial markets, and introduction and reinforce supervisory powers. I will stay to that, supervisory powers. This will give power to every competent authority if they think that there is a risk and detrimental to which will be detrimental to the investors for their protection, they can ban the product. So this is very important power for a competent authority to have. In seeking to achieve these objectives, MiFID II contains a broad range of complex provisions. The Investment Compensation Fund, I will say some words here. We are doing significant changes now in the Investors' Compensation Fund, and we want to upgrade it, and we want to make it to reflect the market risks. A circular will soon be out on this issue in order to have better protection of the investors. The framework created also for the BRRD, which provides authorities with more comprehensive and effective arrangements to deal with failing investment firms, especially the market makers at the national level, as well as cooperation arrangements to tackle cross-border investment firm failures. Upcoming regulatory enhancements are designed to increase, as I said before, market transparency and improve compliance with the framework that is designed to protect investors. This remains CySEC's #1 priority. As I have communicated today, CySEC is committed maintaining open channels of communication with the industry professionals, and is always prepared to discuss ways to alleviate any obstacles to the smooth functioning of the market. This commitment is never at the expense of proper supervision and regulation of the provision of investment services in full compliance with the necessary European directives, the national legislation, which are designed for the protection. We continue to require your commitment in enhancing the reliability of Cyprus's financial sector. Our significance transcends far beyond Cypriot waters, and we must work in a robust fashion in the interest of the investors, the regulated firms, and the industry at large. CySEC regulatory action over the past 2 years has demonstrated that it takes complaints and feedback from the market extremely seriously and will deploy the necessary resources to combat any wrongdoings. Therefore, I expect from all of you as professionals to follow the relevant laws and regulations issued by CySEC in order to further enhance the reliability and especially reputation of the financial sector, but also for the benefit of yourselves and your companies. With these thoughts, I would like once again to congratulate the organizers for this event and thank you all for the attention. Thank you very much.